we're discussing the warrants and voting, or while we're discussing the articles and voting. So please make sure your camera, and obviously you can mute unless you're speaking, but make sure your camera is turned on. And I think that's it. So with that said, let's call the meeting. Can I get a roll call? Brian?
Yep.
David? I can see you.
Here.
Thank you. Jonathan?
Here.
Jackie? Jackie?
Also muted.
She might have had to step away for a minute. Do you want to get back to her at the end?
Yeah, Kristen? Kristen?
Here, can you hear me?
I can now. Thank you. Kiara? Kiara?
Here. Sorry, too fast with the mute button.
That's okay. Jamil?
Here.
Mike?
Here.
And Susan. Jackie, are you back yet? Okay. Let's wait till she's back. Just for open meeting law, we have to make sure that we're on camera and that the person whose voice we're hearing is the person that we're seeing. So. Jackie, are you back yet? I send her a text. No. Jackie? Does anyone have her cell phone number? Maybe we could just send her a text really quick. I don't think I do.
I can.
Huh?
I can.
Okay, great. Thank you. Sorry, guys, I'm sick. So I've been living off of cough drops all day today. So I apologize if my voice is worse than usual. All right.
Looks like Jackie is here. She just sent us a message in the chat.
Okay, great. Jackie, can you just unmute and say here so we can?
Yeah. Hi,
Okay,
sorry,
thank you, hon. All right, no problem. All right, when we're voting, your camera has to be on when we're voting. It can be off during this discussion, but once we start taking a vote, it will need to be on, whether it's a roll call vote or a yay nay vote. So, all right, Blythe, would you like to go over the new? Did you have? I feel like you had something. Yes, you have a new. Hold on, excuse me. Okay, go ahead. A new transfer that we didn't discuss last week. Can we discuss that real quick and then we'll go through the articles for voting?
Absolutely. So I sent out the new ones earlier today. Hopefully Eric was able to forward them around. We added one item to the transfer list of $23,000. Very recently, the library chiller, circuit number 1 chiller has decided to no longer work. And so we have received a proposal from a company that has the proprietary equipment that this whole system runs on. They have supplied us with a quote to both replace the equipment and install it. The total is $23,000. The reason we're asking for this now, I mean, you all know that we do have a reserve of $50,000 that we keep in the facilities department for things that come up. We'd like to fund this now because we have some other expenses we've already incurred this year. It's fairly early in the year for us. So would like to put it into this budget now so that we hopefully will get through the rest of the year without any additional major expenses. The other things we've spent money on this year is we had a person fall coming into town hall recently, and we had to make some emergency concrete repairs. We also have some concrete repairs to sidewalks at the COA. I think those together are about $11,000 or $12,000. So just trying to be mindful and not end up having to ask you guys to have a, perhaps an extra meeting to approve a repair later. We're also want to get the order in as soon as possible because, like everything else, I mean, I sound like a broken record compared, like a lot of people do these days about supply chain issues. It's going to take a while to get the parts. So wanting to get the order in now and be able to make a deposit on those. So that's what it's about. That's our change. I mean, in years past, we don't necessarily always bring you all the transfers by this time, but we're trying to be more proactive about that now. So that's the story.
And just to clarify, I don't know if everybody heard, you're taking it from free cash, correct?
Yes. So the amount that would just go up by 23,000.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions? No?
Yeah, I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
I'm sorry. Sorry, Susan.
That's okay. Go ahead, David.
The email I got from Erica, which said it had this transfer list attached, I didn't get it, I guess. I got the warrant. I got the floodplain bylaw, stormwater bylaw, and the street acceptance stuff, but I didn't get anything with an updated transfer.
I believe Blythe sent that a little later because she had forgotten to attach it. And so I forwarded that as well, but it was
Okay.
a separate email. So hopefully you did get it eventually.
I think it came like literally moments after. Like I have 2 emails in a row from Erica. One is the one you described, David, with the.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't find it, but I'll find it.
I can
I
forward
can
it to
I
you.
can forward
Sorry.
it to you again. No, I can forward it to you again.
Thank you.
12:59 p.m. And it says one more document for tonight.
Yeah, it's the articles. It's not.
No, it says
No.
that.
It's a
But when you open
spreadsheet.
it, it's actually the transfers. Because I just opened both of them trying to get to the article list.
Okay.
for tonight.
All right.
Yeah, I think
Thank
it's
you.
on another
Yep.
tab.
All right. I got it. Thank you.
Sorry, excuse me.
Apologize. Apologize. Thank you. I'm old. Leave me alone.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, I'll just ask Blythe around the chillers. How old are they at this point? And do you think they'll need replacing at some point, or, was this an
Well, we've
expected?
already been doing, as you probably recall, we did a major work on, I think, the condenser last year, and I apologize, I'm not Matt, so if I fumble a little bit, but I'm gonna just, I've got an email in front of me that he sent. So what we fixed last year was, so everything I think is original to the building, and it's about 20 years old.
Okay.
We fixed a circuit and a heat exchanger last year. But this year they started this summer having trouble with this circuit, and it has since died. And what his advice is, it doesn't really have anything to do with previous repair. This is a separate piece of it that needs to be taken care of. Reason he wants to order it now is because before summer hits again or warm weather, we want to get on the top of the list to get this thing ordered and in before we need it. Hopefully we can just keep adding some Freon to it till then, to the extent we need to. But we want to have a good working order before, we turn the heat off and we turn other air on April, May, depending on the weather.
Yep.
So, does the whole thing need to be replaced? Maybe it does, but since we've already invested what we did in the rest of the system, I think he's hopeful that this will take care of things for a good while.
Okay. I ask only because I unfortunately have a really weird, my day job is at a library, and I have to replace our chillers. And they're like $500,000 a piece to replace. It's a little bit of a larger building, but they run really expensive, and the original ones will last about 25 to 30 years max. So, I think we just need to be prepared as a town for patching will continue to work once you reach 20 years, but in the next 5 or 10, we'll probably need to consider replacing them as a whole.
You're right. Yep.
But they're $500,000 a piece, at least from what I've seen.
Well, I'm glad you have college in the area. We have to call you.
Unfortunately, it's been last 4 months have been a very big education on library HVAC systems.
You're putting, this is going to fall under Article 3, correct?
Let me get my article list out. No, this is Article 2.
2, okay.
Bunch of transfers.
Just regular transfers, okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys, apologize. Okay. Any other questions on this before we get to voting? No, okay. All right. Let me see if I can pull up the warrant. So make sure to do everything in order. All right. If it's okay, I'd like to just go through the voting, and then we'll assign articles at the end instead of trying to do it all at once, if that's okay. Article 1 is to is unpaid bills transfers. We have one, correct, Blythe?
Correct. $1,361.22 to the town of Millis for the fourth quarter shared IT services they didn't bill us for when they should have.
Okay.
We'll take the money out of this year's IT budget. We're not going to use free cash for that.
Okay. 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 Can I have a motion?
I move to endorse Article 1, paying unbilled bills from last year.
Okay.
Second.
Thank you. I think that was Jackie, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that was me.
Sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, Article 1 passes unanimously. Article 2, transfers, which is transfers from any source, the authorization of budgets and appropriations for the current fiscal year. Blythe, just remind us specifically which transfers these are versus which ones are transfers for capital.
So the transfers for other than capital are 100,000 into OPEB, the OPEB account, 200,000 into stabilization. And the chiller repair, circuit repair. The others are, I guess, more capital in nature. The fire department turnout gear that needs to be supplement what's in the operating budget of 11,000. The matching grant money for the hose, we're getting a federal grant for the 1,400 makes up the town's share of that grant requirement. Adding money to the fire department budget to buy one of the two thermal imaging cameras that they need. They are, one of them is absolutely defunct. One we're going to wait on. And then a $10,000, which we're going to use for some engineering and design funds for addressing some of the ADA deficiencies we found with the report that we just had done. The goal being to use that as a match towards getting a state grant to take care of some of the priority one problems at both Olive Day School and the library. Trying to go after about $90,000 by spending 10.
Okay.
The grants are up to 250,000 a year, but we've been advised that the state doesn't tend to fund repair grants of that size, or very rarely. So we're going to go into what I think would be a sweet spot for us to earn a grant. And it's important to show a local match.
Okay.
The funding sources are mostly from free cash, and the balance is the MEC budget. We knew we weren't going to need it this year because the state 911 funds are picking up the full cost of that. So using that to balance some of the transfers, and as you can see from the list, some of them are public safety related, if that, if that's important to point out.
Okay.
That was my question, Blythe. So how much MEC money is it?
The budget this year was 95,000. We kept it the same as FY20.
Oh, there it is. I'm sorry. I apologize. Yep. All right.
Yep.
Would it be helpful for like someone to pull this up on the main screen, or does everyone have it in front of them?
I've got it in front of me. I'm just
Okay,
not paying attention.
that's okay.
I mean, next year we will have to fund 50% of what we would have for the MEC. We won't be able to necessarily do this again. But we did it in part because it was a place to be able to transfer from this year, and it helped keep the budget, level at what we are going to need to spend in the future. So.
Okay. Any questions? Thank you, Erica. I think you can probably take it off now. Any questions? No? Okay. Can I have a motion on Article 2?
I move to accept Article 2.
Second.
Thank you, Kristen. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, Article 2 passes unanimously. All right, Article 3. This is to transfer and borrow the money for the DPW truck, purchase a fire tanker truck, repair and replace parts of the salt shed at the DPW.
It's actually a replacement salt shed. It's a completely new one.
Okay, so it's a whole new salt shed. Okay.
It is.
And it looks like that's the bulk of it. Okay.
Yeah, there's 3 items.
All right, Article 3. Does anyone have any questions? No? Okay. Can I have a motion on Article 3?
Motion to approve Article 3.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor of Article 3?
Aye.
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 Opposed?
Aye.
I'm sorry, opposed? Okay, it passes unanimously. Thank you. Article 4 is transfers for capital items. This is correct, Blythe, this is just to pay for the things that we just approved, right? To transfer the
No.
actual money for
No,
them.
these are the ones that are not debt funded. We're paying for out of free cash
Oh,
or
okay.
out of ambulance receipts.
And which ones are these?
Those would be the 3 cruisers, the firearms, the Jaws of Life that are not funded by the state grant earmark that we got. The cardiac monitors for the 2 ambulances paid for out of the ambulance receipts account.
Okay.
The $200,000 for road work, road repair. Replace the trough drain in the DPW garage. Purchase a hot box. The exterior repairs to the COA. The school technology. The exterior painting to the library. The building management system controls for the library. A truck replacement for facilities, and a fund to allow us to be able to get a head start on specifications and designs for projects that will come up in future years, to have them designed and estimated, so we're coming to you with a better price than we are, more confident about the price than we've been in the past.
Okay.
I have a question, actually. So included in here is the transfer from the perpetual fund for cemetery expansion, and then there's also a separate article on that same topic. How are
That's
these
why I
related?
didn't read that one, Brian, because that's actually part of article number.
7.
Yeah, I just had it on the list, but if
Okay.
you look at the spreadsheet, the funding source is in a different column.
Okay.
Good catch.
Blythe, I'm taking my notes for the chair's letter. The cemetery expansion, we're purchasing 100 plots, correct? Or we're going to be able
We're
to?
going to develop an area for 100 additional burial plots, correct?
Okay, I just want to make sure I
Yeah.
word it correctly in that. Okay.
Yep.
Any other questions? Okay,
Quick
can I have a
question.
motion? Oh, go ahead. Sorry, David.
I'm sorry. I forgot, what's the hot box again?
The hot
You know
box is basically in its simplest form, it's a furnace on wheels.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
the road repair thing.
For
Okay.
road repair, yep.
Yep, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Can I have a motion on Article 4?
Move to accept Article 4.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay, Article 4 passes unanimously. We don't need to do anything on Article 5. So Article 6 is to transfer the CPC, transfer from the CPC fund, 20,000, 10,000 from the Open Space Recreation Reserve Fund, and 10,000 from the undesignated fund for a 5-year weed control program at Mirror Lake.
Weed.
Anyone have any questions? No?
Just,
Okay. Oh, go ahead.
I just want the members to know I'm probably going to vote against this. I'm not comfortable that the reasoning that we're paying for what is primarily a pond that's fronted by private properties, but that's just me. So I just thought I'd let people know that before we get
My
to that point.
understanding there is public access, though, as part of the conversation. Is that
I
true?
understand that too. Yeah. I belong to a pond homeowners association, and we pay for everything we do at our pond. There's not a lot of public access to our pond, but it is publicly accessible. So anyways, just to let people know.
Okay, thank you. All right, so I'm gonna take a roll call vote on this one. Just since we're on Zoom. Can I have a motion first?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
Okay, thank you. David,
No.
Brian,
Yes.
Jonathan,
Yes.
Jackie,
Yes.
Kristen,
Yes.
Kiara,
Yes.
Jamil,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
and Susan, yes. So it passes 8-1. All right. Article 7 is, sorry, I'm trying to read these at the same time. This is the separate article for the cemetery. So this is what we were just discussing, but it's actually in its own article submitted by the select board. And the money is coming from the town cemetery's perpetual care account to purchase, design, and develop 100 additional plots for the cemetery. Any discussion? Okay, can I have a motion?
Move to accept Article 7 as written.
Second.
Thank you, David. Okay, all in favor, say aye, please.
Aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. Okay, passes unanimously. Article 8 is the road acceptances. The Frederickson Road Extension and Oakview Trail Extension, which are public ways, and to authorize this select board to collect any money that is due to us for having to finish the road and maintain the responsibility of the road. I believe Rich sent something today.
Yep, so the planning board, so the select board voted to lay the road out last night officially, so it's ready to go to town meeting. I think what Rich sent was he went out and inspected the work that the planning board required the developer to finish, and all of those things have been finished, which was important before we take it over.
Okay, great. Any questions, discussion? No? Can I have a motion, please?
Motion to approve. Sorry, forgot the
That's
article.
Article 8.
Article 8, as written.
Second.
Second. Did somebody second it? I didn't hear.
Second.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Mike. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, Article 8 passes unanimously. Article 9. This is to lease 4.4, I'm sorry, 4.47 acres plus or minus, and located at Sharon Ave for a maximum of 35 years for the purposes of constructing and maintaining an in-ground solar facility, a ground-mounted solar facility. I apologize. It's adjacent to the police station. We're going to be granting, and I just want to make sure I'm mentioning everything. We're going to be granting an easement to Eversource if this passes.
So the police station one is Article 10 though, right? This is that lot.
This is the water tank,
Water tank.
the land around the water tank.
Adjacent to the police station. It's not the one that's going on top of the police station.
Right, there, it's a little confusing. They're both interestingly basically in the same area.
Mhm. Are there any other questions on this one? It's going to reduce, hopefully it's going to reduce the rate of electricity for town buildings specifically.
This one, actually, the money from the rent would go to the Water Enterprise Fund because it's on water property. But we will be receiving a reduction in 1.5 cents per kilowatt hour across our electricity account. So that's how the whole town will benefit. And we need to work out for the personal property of, the value of the array on the property, whether we are taxing them for that outright or a pilot agreement, that probably will also accrue to the general fund. And they're building us a road.
Okay. Any other questions? Can I have a motion?
Motion to approve Article 9.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor of approving Article 9?
Aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Okay, also passes unanimously. Article 10 is the
Police station.
also on Sharon Ave, also for solar, but this is to put a solar facility on the roof of the police station, correct?
And a portion of the parking lot.
In a portion of the parking lot. And it's to also help offset the costs of electricity for what is being used at town buildings. Does anyone-
We from the solar company we've talked to, we expect it will produce 1 3/4 of more than the police station uses today, and there'll be some other benefits as well.
Okay, sorry, I'm just taking notes to help offset cost. Otherwise it's time to write my thing and I've forgotten half of, or write my recommendation and I've forgotten half of what we discussed. All right, can I have a motion on Article 10, please? Oh, sorry, was there any discussion? I apologize. My brain's a little foggy right now. Is there any discussion on Article 10? No questions? Okay, can I have a motion on Article 10?
Motion to approve Article 10 as written.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, Article 10 passes unanimously. Article 11, this is the floodplain bylaw. So there was a lot of discussion on this. I'm going to try to recap what we actually discussed and what some of the answers were. Please feel free to interject if I misspeak in any way. I'm doing it from memory. I don't actually have notes on it. Okay, so to be in compliance with FEMA's rules and both federally and state, we need to change the way that the zoning bylaw is for in the flood zones. We discussed what percentage of Norfolk is in a flood zone, which it looks to be about 35%. And we discussed how many homes and residences are actually in there. We received a floodplain map for Norfolk. There was some good back and forth on that. But in the end, if we don't comply, if this does not pass, we could put our FEMA and our flood insurance in jeopardy, meaning residences that are in the floodplain may not qualify for flood insurance anymore if we don't make this change. The biggest change is that it means that if you live in one of these residences, you will have to apply for permits for things that you would not normally have had to apply for a permit for, such as repairing a driveway, putting up a fence, adding a shed, those types of things. However, in an email that Rich sent today, he did say that he spoke to conservation and that in almost all instances, the people who are in floodplains are also either close to or adjacent to wetlands, which probably would have put them in the need to apply for a permit anyway through conservation. So this would just be applying for a permit, not through conservation. Are there any questions that Blythe might be able to answer?
Oh, there's a challenge. What I can
Well, we
tell
got
you
most of the information, and if I didn't recap that correctly, please feel free to interject. But
one thing I would just add is that this has to be done by the state. Feds required by the end of the year. I think if you went and looked at the warrants of the communities around us, everybody's tackling this if they haven't already. Not that I ever like following the herd, but it's that important. everyone gets updated.
It does feel like the people that have the extra hurdle are also the same people that if we don't do this, they're the cost of it, right? Because so this feels like an easy one to me, but that's just me.
Okay. I'm going to take a roll call vote on this one just because there was so much discussion back and forth. I'm not saying that anyone is voting differently, but just to be on the safe side. So if I could have a motion on this, that would be great. Anyone?
Motion to
Would I-
approve Article 11.
Thank
Is that what it
you.
is? Second.
Okay. Kristen,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Jonathan,
Sorry, yes.
Brian,
Yes.
Michael,
Yes.
Kiara,
Yes.
Jamil,
Yes.
Jackie,
Yes.
and Susan. Yes. Okay. Not as needed as I thought. All right, good. Article 11 passes unanimously. Article 12 is also zoning and planning, and it is, oh, this is the sign. All right. Any further discussion on the sign, which is the internally lit sign for town use only, located most likely on Town Hill? We do not know yet what it's going to cost, and we do not know yet when it would be purchased, and we do not know yet how big it would be. But those questions would all be answered when the town comes before us to actually fund it. This is just just to give them the approval to move forward with pricing it out and allowing it. We have to change the zoning bylaw to start to allow it. So are there any questions, comments, discussion? All right. I'm again going to take a roll call vote on this one.
Who wants to make a motion? Right?
Oh yeah, sorry. Thank you. Can I get a motion on this one first, please? Article 12.
Motion to approve Article 12.
Second.
Thank you. All right. Kristen,
Sure. Yes.
David,
No.
Jonathan,
No.
Brian,
No.
Michael,
No.
Kiara.
Yes.
I'm sorry, couldn't hear you.
Yes.
Okay. Jamil,
Yes.
Jackie.
Yes.
Really, people? Really?
All up to you, chief.
Next time, Susan, you should vote first.
Uh-huh.
Well, that.
You have that prerogative.
Right?
Make-
I was just about to say the same thing.
I'm calling on myself first next time. Okay. I'm going to be honest. I'm actually torn both as a resident and as a person on the advisory board. I see the need for it for the town. I also see that, nobody really wants lit signs all over town. And, I feel like there's going to be a push to allow it for businesses if we allow it for the town. So I see both sides. I'm going to vote yes, because I feel strongly that if the town thinks this is a necessity, then I will let them run with it. All right. So Article 12 passes, split 5-4. Whoever gets to write that article is going to have fun. All right. Article 13, which is the stormwater. You know what? I'm going to be honest. I'm having a little trouble recapping this one. So if David or Blythe would like to take over recapping this article for everybody, that would be great. I didn't have any notes on this one.
Blythe, I'm going to defer to you because I have my feelings about it, but I'm not sure I would recap it.
You're all in a little bit of trouble then. So what I do understand, about it, and I think last week I sent around a memo from Beta Engineering, who's been handling this work for us, which I think is very helpful. We're not changing the whole bylaw. We're only changing the sections that won't comply with our what's called our MS4 permit. We have a federal permit that governs what we have to do to start to treat stormwater. And it's a topic that we're going to need to spend some time on in the future. You know, we've been spending 50 grand a year to do the planning and the mapping and all that kind of good doobie stuff. But at the end of year 3, and I think we're just about there, we have to have our, similar to floodplain, we have to have our bylaws in compliance with that federal permit, and the changes that are here in this bylaw will enable us to get there. So I would characterize this as another, we need to do it even if we don't necessarily agree with it or really like it. So I would have to pull back up that memo from Beta to give you more details than that. But that's at a high level why we're doing it.
I was just looking at the Beta memo again, and I do believe we do probably need to do this stuff. A question I have, Blythe, that it literally just dawned on me is that in the spring we created a stormwater division. And these requirements are all on private development, right? It's not anything that the town's going to have to do through that division, or?
Well,
you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying?
The town holds the permit.
Right.
Every community has one. We're more highly impacted than other communities because we're in the Charles River watershed.
Right.
That's the bad news. The good news is because we have almost the whole town is septic systems and not sewers. There's things that are going to make it simpler for us. But overall, I mean, the basic premise of the stormwater law is that the federal government has decided that back in the day, they started regulating water, and we've been doing that for decades. Then they decided 10 or 15 years ago that that's the stormwater coming out of catch basins and into bodies of water also needed to be as clean as it could be, and that's where this comes from.
Right.
So we started spending money on it because we had to be doing the public outreach and the mapping and checking, locating all of our outflows and catch basins and things like that. This feds have said, okay, when you're at the end of year 3, your bylaws have to comply with the requirements that we have. So that's what this does. We will have to talk more in the future because the costs are going to increase significantly, even for us, because we have to start testing water coming out of them. We might have to be doing work to them.
We need to clean them more often than we're cleaning them.
We most definitely do.
Right.
The good news is that the ARPA funds can be used for stormwater, and some of the internal discussions we're having is how much is it going to be? Because it's not going to be 50 grand a year. All that did was help us get it as an identifiable cost, not just an add-on at the fall town meeting. So.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
I'd like to make a
Okay,
motion.
I have a motion on Article 13.
I'd like to make a motion to endorse Article 13 as written.
Okay.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor of Article 13?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, Article 13 passes unanimously. All right, now for the fun stuff. I know how much you guys want to do this. All right, who would like to do unpaid bills, transfers, and basically 1 through 4, which is kind of all the same thing. It's the unpaid bills, the transfers, the capital transfers.
I'll do that one. That's at least controversial.
All right, Mike, thank you for taking those 4.
What you got 1 through 4, Mike? Is that what you're
1
saying?
through 4.
1 through
I'm
4.
doing most of the work here, people. Come on.
I'm just checking. Mike, I've done articles 3 and 4 the last couple of years. I can send you the language so you can.
Okay, that'd be awesome. Thanks.
You got to look at the details, but the language is basically the same. So.
Okay.
I have
Article
even
6
less
is-
work.
Article 6 is the Mirror Lake weed control.
Can I do that one?
Yeah, is that Kiera?
Did you skip 5? Oh,
5
it's committee.
is-
Never mind.
Yeah, 5 is nothing for
Yeah.
us. So Article 7 is the cemetery plots. Nobody wants the cemetery plots? Come on.
I'll do it.
Halloween,
I
you
was
should be
waiting for solar,
all
but
over
I'll
that
do it.
one.
All right,
Yeah.
Brian, is that you?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Brian. Article 8 is road acceptances.
I'll do
Since
Article 8.
I'll-
Oh, go ahead. If you want to do 2 in a row, it's fine.
I was gonna say I'll
Tyler?
already be standing there, and road acceptance are easy.
Okay, Brian, thank you. All right. It's obviously easiest if we do the 2 solars together since they're kind of the same language. They're just different things.
If no one else wants to do them, I'll do them.
I knew that was going to be you because you are our energy guy, David.
Eek. All right.
All right. Now for the fun ones. Who wants to explain the floodplain bylaw changes?
I'll do stormwater. I won't do floodplains.
Okay. David for stormwater. That leaves the sign. Jonathan.
Well, no one's
I know
done.
you want to do the sign.
Sure, I'll do the sign.
You voted against it.
All right. He
Oh,
can handle
That's
it.
fine.
Okay. All right.
All right. I need somebody for floodwater. Come on.
I would do it, but I'd have to trade away my other 2.
I can do floodwater, I guess.
That's
Okay.
you, Jack.
Is that Jackie?
Oh, yes, that's Jackie.
Okay.
Very excited.
You got to do like Mike does and speak up right away and then you're set.
Okay.
Grab the easy ones.
Okay. And Jackie.
You know, if
All
anyone
right.
has any further questions as you're writing them up, let me know. Be happy to help any of you or get you to the person who can tell you more than I can.
All right. And Mike, if you want to take 3 and 4 together and 1 and 2 together and then give, either 1 and 2 or 3 and 4 to somebody else, you can. If not, it's fine. We don't have to, everyone doesn't have to have one. But if
Anybody
Jamil,
want experience on an easy one? This is a good way of getting your feet wet.
well, yeah, 1 and 2 are pretty, or at least 1 is very easy, but
They're all. They're actually all.
you guys work it out. But Kristen and Jamil don't have anything. If they'd like something,
Would
they
you
can
like
take
something?
one of Mike Huff's.
I will do it. Why not?
Okay.
I give
Jamil-
up floodwater if anyone wants it, just putting it out there, so.
Jackie, unfortunately, I don't think anybody's taking flood water off your hands. You know what? The thing is it has to be done. So it's really not going to be a big debate. It's just trying to explain it. In a
That's
way.
what I said about.
I mean, the other important
famous
thing
last
about
words.
the other important thing about that one and the stormwater one is you really do need to defer to the experts after you give you cannot stand there and be the
I mean,
town's-
I honestly
the
think
town's
recommendation-
describer on this. Yeah, you've got
Yeah,
to
I think the recommendation on this should really just be basically probably very close to what I'm going to write in the chair letter, which is it has to be done so we're in compliance with state and federal
Right.
law, and then pass it on to Rich McCarthy or someone else.
right.
Because we're really not qualified to answer questions on floodwater. So,
Right.
or floodplains, I should say. Okay, Jamil,
So-
did you say you would take Mike? Which one are you giving to Jamil? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Can't hear you. You're muted.
They're couplets, so we could do. I could give up either one. It's totally up to you.
1 and 2 are probably a little. Oh, hey, puppy. Sorry.
This is not good.
Oops.
I don't know. I feel like Jamil 1 and 2 are probably a little more straightforward, or we'll have less questions. But
All right, so Mike, or David, why don't you send Mike and Jamil, just copy both of them.
The capital
and,
stuff, all right.
Yeah, the capital
Yeah.
stuff, and I'll give Jamil. You've never done one, right, Jamil?
I haven't.
So why don't we just give him Article 1 for now, and if he's ready, he can certainly take another one off of your plate, Mike. But if not, that way he's only responsible for one this time around. And next spring, you're all in, Jamil. We're gonna give you the big ones next spring.
That sounds good. I'm looking forward to it.
So
Okay.
just to be clear, so 1 is Jamil, and I'll do 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, but David, when you send your stuff, if you would just copy both Jamil and Mike, so that they're, in case they do decide to swap anything, they both have the information.
Yep.
And all right, so town meeting Blythe is Tuesday, November 9th. Is that correct? I don't have
That's correct. We have the moderators meeting on next Monday, the 25th in the morning. Really would like you guys to get your write-ups to Erica by Saturday, Sunday, so that she can populate them into the warrant and get them off to the printer. She's working on that right now.
Let's call them due by Saturday night. So, because none of us have anything else to do on a Saturday night. But let's that gives us 4 days from now. So
Hey, Blythe, have you had
that
any
gives-
discussion with the moderator on if there's going to be a consent agenda that would pool together several of these?
I haven't, but that's a great point. I will email him tomorrow.
Job got easier, Jamil.
Yeah. Okay, so your recommendations are due to Erica. Please copy me on them as well, just so I can keep track of that everybody's are in and who was signed up for what. Erica, if you don't mind sending out an email tonight like we did last spring that just reminds everybody which articles they are.
Yep.
And then everyone can get those in by Saturday night. Obviously, the sooner the better. That way Erica has Sunday to populate everything and get it over to Blythe. We will be meeting an hour before. I don't think there will be any last minute business, but we do have to meet just in case. So 6:30? Blythe, is it 6:30?
You can meet whatever time you want. I think the select board will probably start at 6 in case we have anything other business to do, but you can start later if you want.
I think we're gonna, if it's okay with everybody else, I think we'll just do 6:30, because usually what happens is we meet at 6, we're there for 20 minutes, and then we all have to find something to do for 40 minutes walking around the building. So if it's okay, we'll just meet at 6:30, since it's back to not being on a Saturday, which means people are coming from work. Thumbs up. Good. 6:30. Okay. 6:30, Tuesday, November 9th at the middle school. I know it's confusing because we keep going back and forth, but we are not at the high school. We are back at the middle school, and we are meeting in the oh, nope. Are we the library?
I don't have that email in front of me, but he did.
Yeah, I'll double
Library.
check. But I'm pretty sure we're the library and the select board is the somewhere else.
I expect we'll hear from Jay on Monday about whether or not he wants everyone to wear masks or whatever the protocols are going to be. We haven't talked about it yet, but I will bring that up to him, just make sure everyone knows what they're supposed to do.
Okay. Okay. And then just to recap before, Kristen, do we have any minutes?
we do.
Okay. Can we approve those?
Yeah, I reviewed the minutes for October 13th. And I motion to approve the minutes for October 13th.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Well, thank you. Any opposed? No. Okay. Minutes have been accepted from October 13th. Okay. So when we meet for town meeting, we will approve any outstanding minutes that we have. And then I will call a meeting most likely in January. So we're off from once town meeting happens, we are off until at least January. And that I'm going to meet with Blythe first on what boards and committees we think would benefit from having someone, sort of be in contact with them. And we'll meet to discuss that. We'll also, Blythe and I will have a new system and order for the process for which boards and committees bring stuff to us before we vote on our warrant articles. So I'll call that meeting in January. We'll touch base, and then we'll set the first meeting for the spring as well. We should know that by then. It'll probably be late February, early March, and that'll be it. All right. Any questions? All right. Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
All right. See you all in 2 weeks. Don't forget your
Thanks.
articles.
Thanks for powering
Thank you.
through, Susan.
Bye, guys.
All right.
Bye.
Bye guys.